It's a diary of being and being my authentic self every day and becoming who I aspire to be. It's a record of growth.
Hi guys, welcome back to yet another dose of Diary of Daffy. If you haven't subscribed, girl, you know what to do. If you don't like what you've subscribed, girl, you know what to do, boy. Anyways, so today we're doing something different and we're doing, drum roll please, story time. Yep, today we're doing our first ever story time. And back home, my family calls me Gidiboni, which directly translates to I have seen a lot. Because in this country, I have seen a lot, child. I have seen a lot under the sun of Japan. Anyways, so today we're going to talk about my experience at a love hotel. How I was tricked into going to a love hotel, or how I basically found myself in a love hotel and that wasn't my plan. Because that's it. So, first of all, what are love hotels? And I know through having conversations with my friends in the US, back home, that people don't really know about love hotels. And I think for me too, when I first arrived in Japan, I heard about love hotels. It was very surprising to me. It was a culture shock. One of those things that were a culture shock, like, what in the hell, But anyways, what are love hotels? ChatGPT says, love hotels are a specific type of a short stay hotel found especially in Japan, very, very common in Japan. And in other countries, I am sure there's no love hotel in any country in Africa. By the way, especially in Japan, that are designed for privacy and discretion for couples. And before I read about it, before I started this video, I genuinely knew love hotels as hotels where you basically go with your partner to have sex, literally. Because when you walk in those hotels, there are things as like handcuffs, condoms, like, vibrators, like sex toys. It's genuinely designed for privacy and discretion for couples, right? And ChatGPT says that couples living with family or roommates who don't have private space at home can use love hotels, and even travelers or tourists seeking for a place to relax or rest can do that. And I've done that once recently, where I was traveling and love hotel was the cheaper option. Even when you do search in, like, you're looking for places to stay when you're traveling in Japan, and you're traveling alone, obviously, like, Booking.com, for instance, does suggest options as love hotels, because also you can use it alone as a place where you can stay overnight and rest as a hotel, right? And also, ChatGPT says locals wanting a themed luxury room experience. And trust me, those hotels are the prettiest. Love hotels are the prettiest. Prettier like normal, like, hotels, right? Regular hotels, right? And how do they operate? Rooms are often rented by hour in addition to overnight. Many hotels hide room numbers and use private garages entrances and signs can be simple or discreet. And that is so true, because when you enter into a love hotel, sometimes it locks you up and you don't even know what your room number is. They're basically for what? For privacy. And my thing was, it's literally a perfect way to cheat on your wife because they wouldn't know where you at. And I'm always saying this to my friends, that if love hotels were in Africa, because African men cheat, they would literally make you a lot of money. Anyways, so how do I find myself in a love hotel? So this is in 2023. I think towards the end of my second year, or the midst of my second year. And this is around the time where I wasn't really used to being alone. Like, I wasn't really comfortable with being alone at the time as I am now. Now I love being alone. At that time, being alone, if I was alone and I'm not doing anything, I would be so stressed, and I feel like I would feel the need to, like, go somewhere or be with someone, So because of that reason, I ended up signing myself up for a dating app, Bumble. And I chose Bumble because I was weighing up the options of the existing dating apps, and Bumble felt safer for me because Bumble, you can go there to find a boyfriend, a partner, or you can go there for platonic relationships, like genuine friends, to make genuine friends, right? And so, yeah. So I'm talking to this guy, fast forward, he tells me, oh, do you want to go for a drive? It was around 6 p.m. And so I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. We can go for a drive. That's totally fine. And for me, at this time, I'm like, okay, we're friends, whatever, nothing weird. But this was the first time we ever met. And so I tell him, oh no, we can meet around 9 because I was busy doing my assignments, right? And so I live close to 7-Eleven that's like convenience store that's like 2 minutes away. But this time I told him, oh, I told him to pick me up at a 7-Eleven that's like, not a 7-Eleven, a convenience store that's very far from my place. Because one thing I know about Japanese people, they have this tendency of stalking, and I have another story for that. But anyways, I tell him to pick me up far away, right? And so I'm thinking we are going to a drive. Tell me why. So my city, towards the end of our city, when you leave Beppu and you're probably going towards the direction of Oita, there's like a collection of love hotels over there. That area is known for love hotels. He goes towards that direction. In my mind, I'm thinking we're probably going to Oita or something. But tell me why this guy pulls up in a love hotel, bro. And the thing I'm like, and at that moment, my energy switched up. I was immediately in a defense mode, or like a survival mode, or a mode where I'm just like, you need to be careful of what's about to happen next, But at the same time, I knew that this guy would never do anything that he's not allowed to do to me. So I act chill, and I was like, okay, well, because tell you what, we didn't even drive for at least 5 minutes. This guy literally had premeditated this. He had premeditated this and had planned this from the onset. Because when he picked me up, he went straight to that specific love hotel. So it looks like I was kind of sort of tricked, because he said we were going for a drive, but we were actually not going to a drive. He wanted to take me to a love hotel. So fine, we walk into a love hotel. And I think at that time, when I see this, from the onset, I could have been like, oh no, I don't want to go in a love hotel. A part of me also wanted to see like what's going on, to get the full story of what this guy wants, right? So we walk in, and I'm doing all of this bravely, so because I know I'm in Japan, I'm safe. He will not do anything to me that he's not supposed to do, right? And so we walk in, and when we walked in, immediately the room locked itself, because that's how they are, right? And then we sit on a couch, and he offers me to drink, and immediately I'm like, I know what's going on here. Guys usually do this thing where they get girls drunk so that they can do stuff to them. But with me, that never works, because I'm like, I never drink freely around people I don't know, or around places where I'm not familiar with, right? I never do drink. So I was like, oh, thank you. I took the drink and I started sipping a little, like, hanya, like, I wasn't even drinking. I was like sipping small. So, and then he goes, do you want to go and take a shower? In my mind, I'm like, why do I need to go and take a shower, bro? Like, what the fuck? But I'm like, anyways, I'm like, no, thank you. I don't want to. And he goes, oh, I want to. I'm like, okay, you can go. So he goes and takes a shower. And then when he comes back, and mind you, at the time he asked this whole taking shower thing, we were having conversations of like, oh, tell me about your country. And I was telling him about the things that I haven't told him about my country in the chats on Bumble. But then he was like, oh, I'm gonna take a shower. So he came back from the shower, and he had a towel wrapped around him, and his chest was shirtless, of course. And he goes like, are you sure you really don't want to take a shower? And I'm like, no, I don't want to take a shower. So this guy, I was sitting on a couch, he comes back, standing really close to me, in front of me, and he goes, are you sure? And he stands there like being weird. And I think because he's a Japanese man, he can't really say what he wants. Because if he was an African man, he obviously would have been like, let's. he stands there like a child, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I'm like, hi, bro, what's going on? So I'm like, and then I break the silence. I'm like, oh, by the way, I really need to go back because I have class at 7 a.m. So I really have to go. But guess what this guy says? This guy is like, oh, I drank, I can't drive you back. And I'm thinking he's doing all of that because he thinks I'm gonna switch up and be like, oh, if you can't drive, then maybe I'll spend the night. And I'm like, hell no. You don't know who you're dealing with. Like, if I don't want something, I don't want something, right? And he goes, he can't drink because he was drinking. And let me tell you, that guy literally took like a few sips because he just wanted to get on to like getting naked, whatever, right? And I'm like, oh, you can't drive? And he was like, yeah, I can't drive. And I'm like, oh, you cannot drive. It's cool. I'll walk. Just let me out. And he goes, oh my God. He was so shocked. Because I feel like if it was for a Japanese person, it would have went, I think for a Japanese girl, it would have went the other way around. Where he said, oh, I can't drive. And the Japanese girl would have been like, okay, I'll spend the night, because Japanese girls are really shy and they really can't stand on their feet they are shy people, right? And I go, well, okay, fine, I'll walk, don't worry. And he goes, and he's like, are you sure? I'm like, yes, I'm very sure I will walk. And he goes, oh, okay, disappointedly so. He goes like, oh, okay, maybe we can try this next time. And I'm like, okay. I get out and leave and I walk. And luckily, the place was like 30 minutes walk away from my house. And you know me, I love walking. So walking 30 minutes is like a 5-minute walk to me. And trust me, if the place was like 3 hours away from my house, I would still walk for 3 hours just to go back to my house. And I was so pissed because a few days afterwards, he texted me on Bumble, and I told him, oh, actually, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And I told him, like, first of all, we had to go for a drive, and we didn't go for a drive. You knew what you wanted, where you wanted to go. And my thing is, why can't people just be like honest? Like, if this is what you want, tell someone that's what you want so that they have a choice. Like, oh, you want to go to a drive or you want to go to a love hotel? Actually, I'm not comfortable with going to a love hotel with you because I don't know you. Or actually, we can go, right? So he didn't give me a choice. He literally just tricked me into, oh, we're going for a drive. And he knew exactly where he was taking me. So that's where our friendship ended. And I guess my Japanese language practicing went wop, 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 wop. But anyways, so that's what happened. We never talked to each other. We never saw each other. And that was it. And to be honest with you, I was really offended. Like, I was just like very offended. But I was also like very relaxed at it. I was like, usually if I was back home, I would know I'm in danger, right? But the way this whole thing went, it was like I was in control. I was like, okay, no, I'm not doing this. Bye. And it was totally fine. And I know it would have been a different story if I was back home. That's also why I was even when I saw this guy is literally pulling up in a love hotel, I was like, nah, don't worry. He won't do anything he's not supposed to, because I knew he would not. But anyways, that's my experience with a love hotel, of how I was tricked to go into a love hotel. I have been to a love hotel the second time though, where I was traveling, and so it was a cheaper means to like sleep for the night. So I booked into a love hotel because the rooms are really pretty, and honestly, they're cheaper than like normal like hotels. And yeah, and that's all about my experience in a love hotel. If you have any questions about love hotels or anything about this story time, please do comment and ask questions, or comment if you've ever had an experience with love hotels. And also, if there are love hotels in any country in Africa, do comment and tell me about it, because I don't think love hotels are in Africa. Like, Honestly, in our continent, Africa, I don't think there's any love hotels. But anyways, this is the end of the video, and thank you for watching. With love from Diary of the Theme. Bye.